Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 is here, and with it comes new opportunities, new challenges, and new lessons. One thing I want to stress today is the importance of focusing on yourself and staying silent. In a world full of noise, opinions, and constant distractions, your power lies in your ability to tune out the chaos and invest in your own growth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that too few people really understand. In life, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your best to anyone if you are not giving your best to yourself first. So many of us spend our days running around trying to fix everybody else's problems, worrying about what people think, or trying to impress someone who doesn't even matter in the long run. And by the end of the day, we are drained, frustrated, and stuck wondering why nothing is changing in our lives. I'm here to tell you that if 2026 is going to be your year, if it's going to be the year you finally see your life change for the better, you have to start by prioritizing yourself. You have to start by putting yourself at the top of your list. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean you become selfish. No, that's a mistake many people make. Prioritizing yourself means that you recognize your value. It means that you understand you deserve time, energy, and attention just like everyone else. It means that you honor your dreams, your ambitions, and your goals with the seriousness they deserve. And let me tell you something else, ladies and gentlemen, when you prioritize yourself, amazing things start to happen. Opportunities that you didn't even see before begin to show up. People start to respect your time and your energy in ways they never did before. And most importantly, you begin to see yourself the way God, the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in intended you to be seen strong, capable, and worthy of the very best. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, Steve, I can't do that. I have responsibilities. I have people depending on me. I have bills, obligations, and family. Listen, I am not saying ignore your responsibilities. I am not saying throw everyone else to the side. But what I am saying is this: you cannot continue to sacrifice yourself for the sake of everything else and expect your life to improve. You cannot continue to put yourself last and expect happiness, success, and fulfillment to just magically fall into your lap. Prioritizing yourself is about creating a balance. It is about making sure that in the midst of all your responsibilities, your voice, your goals, and your dreams are not lost. It's about carving out time to work on you, to invest in yourself, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Think about it. How can you give your best to your work if you are constantly exhausted? How can you give your best to your relationships if you are emotionally drained and unfulfilled? How can you make a difference in the world if you haven't even taken the time to figure out what difference you want to make? It starts with you. It starts with prioritizing yourself. And this doesn't have to be dramatic or extreme. It could be as simple as setting aside an hour a day to read, to pray, to work on a skill, or to reflect on your life. It could be saying no to the things that drain you so you can say yes to the things that matter. It could be removing toxic people from your life who keep pulling you down and replacing them with people who uplift you and challenge you to grow. When you prioritize yourself, you send a message to the world. I am worth it. I am valuable. I will not settle for less than I deserve. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, once you start living like that, the world has no choice but to respond in kind. Doors start opening, respect starts flowing, confidence begins to grow, and suddenly you are operating from a place of power, not fear. You are living intentionally, not reactively. You are choosing your life, not letting your life choose you. So in 2026, make a commitment to yourself. Stop giving away your time, your energy, and your focus to everything and everyone else before yourself. Learn to honor your own needs, your own dreams, your own potential. Work on you. Invest in you. Protect your peace. Because when you prioritize yourself, everything else in your life begins to fall into place. success, happiness, respect, love, they all follow the person who first decides to put themselves first. And let me tell you, there is no shame in that. There is no guilt. There is only power, progress, and the life you've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be real with you for a moment. In today's world, everybody wants to hear your opinion. Everybody wants to know what you think. Social media has made it seem like if you're not constantly talking, posting, or sharing, you're somehow missing out or falling behind. But I'm here to tell you that one of the most powerful things you can do in 2026 is to embrace silence. Yes, silence. That quiet space where nobody else's noise reaches you, where you can think, reflect, and grow without interruption. Most people underestimate it, but silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. When you stay silent, you give yourself an advantage that loud people can never have. You see, the world rewards those who can wait, those who can observe, those who can control their impulses. Think about it when you speak without thinking. You reveal your weaknesses, you expose your insecurities, and you often regret your words later. But when you stay silent, when you take the time to process, reflect, and analyze, you create a space where your mind can work without interference. You allow yourself the chance to understand situations more clearly, to notice opportunities others miss, and to act with intention rather than reaction. That, my friends, is where the magic happens. Silence allows you to protect your energy. Every time you get pulled into a fight, a debate, or gossip, you are giving away pieces of yourself, your focus, your clarity, your peace. And for what? So someone else can feel better for a few moments, so someone else can have the last word. No. When you value silence, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. You invest it into your dreams, your goals, and your personal growth. You stop wasting time on people, conversations, and situations that do not serve you. And let me tell you, in 2026, energy is currency. The more of it you save for yourself, the faster you'll move forward. There is also a quiet strength that comes from silence that people cannot ignore. When you are calm, composed, and intentional in your actions, others notice it. They respect it. They may even underestimate you at first, but over time, they realize that you are not driven by ego or chaos. You are driven by purpose. And that is a game changer in every area of life. Relationships, career, personal development, and beyond. When you are silent, you are not weak. You are calculating, you are observing, and you are preparing to move in ways that loud, reckless people cannot imagine. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Steve, I'm not good at being quiet. I feel like if I don't speak, nobody will hear me. Listen to me carefully. The people who need to hear you, the people who truly matter in your journey, will hear you when it counts. And often, the less you talk, the more impact your words have when you finally do speak. Silence makes your words weighty. Silence makes your actions louder than any argument, any rant, or any social media post ever could. Silence allows you to become mysterious, disciplined, and intentional, which is far more powerful than being loud, scattered, and reactive. Silence is also the doorway to self-awareness. When you stop constantly talking, explaining, and reacting, you start to hear yourself. You start to understand your desires, your fears, and your purpose in ways you never could while being distracted by everyone else's opinions. You learn what really matters to you, what aligns with your vision, and what is just noise. And once you have that clarity, ladies and gentlemen, once you have that internal guidance, you can make decisions that are not influenced by outside pressures, but by what is truly best for your life. So in 2026, I challenge you to embrace silence. Don't be afraid to stay quiet, to observe, to reflect, and to protect your peace. Don't feel the need to explain yourself or justify your choices to everyone else. Value your silence as the powerful tool it is. When you combine silence with focus, with discipline, and with intentional action, you will move through life differently. People will notice. Opportunities will come. Respect will grow. and most importantly, you will discover a level of inner strength, clarity, and peace that is unmatched by any external noise. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you today about something that's holding way too many people back in 2026, and that is drama. Drama is everywhere, isn't it? On the streets, at work, on social media, even in our homes. And so many people have gotten used to it like it's just a normal part of life. But I'm here to tell you, drama is a thief. It steals your time, your energy, your peace, and it distracts you from the very things that could change your life. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, if you want to live the life you've been dreaming about, one of the most important things you can do is avoid drama. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Steve, how do you avoid drama? People keep bringing it to you. Situations keep happening. And I get it. Life is going to throw challenges at you. People are going to misunderstand you. Gossip will happen. Conflicts will arise. But here's the secret. You don't have to participate. You don't have to respond. You don't have to feed it. When someone is trying to pull you into drama, you have a choice. You can walk away. You can stay silent. You can focus on what matters instead of what doesn't. That's power. That's control. That's discipline. Drama feeds on reaction. The moment you engage, you give it life. The moment you argue, you give it energy. The moment you let your emotions run wild, you let it take over your mind, your day, and even your year. But when you step back, when you refuse to react, when you stay focused on your goals and your personal growth, drama loses its grip. People will continue to talk, situations will continue to happen, but you will remain untouched. You will remain focused. You will remain in control of your life. And trust me, there's nothing more powerful than that. Avoiding drama also means surrounding yourself with the right people. If your life is full of individuals who thrive on gossip, conflict, and negativity, your energy is going to be drained before you even realize it. You have to be intentional about who you let close to you. Find people who lift you up, people who inspire you, people who push you to grow, not pull you into chaos. You don't need friends who constantly complain, criticize, or create problems. You need allies who challenge you, support you, and encourage you to be your best self. That is how you stay clear of unnecessary drama. Another thing I want you to understand is that avoiding drama is not about being passive. It's about being strategic. It's about choosing your battles. Not every insult, not every disagreement, not every irritating behavior deserves your attention. Some things are better left alone. Some people are better left in the background. Life is too short, and 2026 is too precious to waste your time fighting battles that don't move you forward. When you focus on what matters and ignore what doesn't, you conserve your energy for success, for happiness, and for your own growth. Drama also keeps you trapped in the past. When you are caught up in arguments, gossip, or conflict, you are reliving situations over and over, dragging yourself down with resentment, anger, or frustration. But when you avoid drama, you release yourself from the past. You choose peace over chaos. You choose freedom over frustration. You focus on the present and the future, because that's where your life is waiting. That's where your opportunities are waiting. That's where your dreams are waiting. In 2026, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Refuse to let drama control your life. Refuse to let it steal your energy. Refuse to let it determine your happiness or your progress. Walk away from conflict you don't need. Ignore the negativity that doesn't serve you. Stay silent when necessary. Protect your peace like it's gold, because it is. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, avoiding drama doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are strong, disciplined, and focused. It means you are prioritizing your life and your future over temporary chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, drama is everywhere, but it doesn't have to touch you. You have the power to rise above it. You have the power to stay focused, calm, and in control. And when you do that, when you make the conscious choice to avoid drama and protect your energy, You open the door to peace, success, and the life you've always dreamed about. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't realize. Life is not just about talking, reacting, or doing. Life is about observing and learning. So many of us are moving through the world with our mouths open, always reacting, always talking, always trying to prove ourselves, and we miss what's happening right in front of us. But if 2026 is going to be your year, if it's going to be the year you finally take control and transform your life, you have to learn the power of observation. You have to learn how to watch, listen, and take notes before you act. You have to learn how to observe and then learn from everything around you. When you observe, you see things others miss. You notice opportunities, patterns, and behaviors that most people are too busy to recognize because they're too caught up in speaking, reacting, or complaining. You begin to understand people, situations, and circumstances in ways that allow you to make smarter decisions. Let me tell you, knowledge is power, but understanding is even more powerful. And understanding comes from observation. When you take the time to really look, really listen, and really pay attention, you are arming yourself with information that can change the direction of your life. Learning doesn't always come from school or formal education. Sometimes it comes from watching, listening, and reflecting. Life is full of lessons, but they are only revealed to those who are willing to slow down and pay attention. If you spend all your time talking, arguing, or trying to impress people, you will miss the very lessons that could make you wiser, stronger, and more successful. Observation allows you to learn from the successes and failures of others without having to experience them all yourself. It's like having a roadmap when everyone else is wandering blindly. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Steve, I'm not good at observing. I get impatient. I want to act. I want to speak. I want to be noticed. And I get it. I understand that feeling. But here's the truth. Patience and observation is a form of power. It allows you to move strategically instead of impulsively. It allows you to respond instead of react. When you watch and learn, you gather insight that positions you to make better choices. You avoid mistakes that others are making because you have seen the signs, the patterns, and the warning signals. You learn the timing of things, the people who are worth your energy, and the opportunities that are worth pursuing. Observation also teaches humility. When you pay attention, you realize that you don't know everything. You realize that there is wisdom in silence, experience in listening, and strength in learning from others. You see that every person you meet, every situation you encounter, has something to teach you if you are willing to open your eyes and your mind. And when you embrace this mindset, you stop being so reactive. You stop being so defensive. You stop rushing into things without clarity. Instead, you move deliberately, thoughtfully, and with purpose, and that is the key to long-term success in every area of life. Another powerful part of observation is that it allows you to understand yourself better. By watching how you respond to situations, how you react to people, and how you handle challenges, you learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your triggers. You learn what you are capable of and where you need to grow. Self-awareness comes from observation, and self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. When you know yourself, you can make decisions that align with your values, your goals, and your purpose. You can stop chasing things that don't matter and start focusing on what truly matters. Observation also creates opportunities for strategic action. When you learn, when you absorb knowledge, and when you understand the world around you, you can take action in a way that is calculated and intentional. You don't stumble blindly through life. You step forward with confidence because you know what you're doing, you know when to act, and you know why you're acting. Observation gives you the ability to see the bigger picture, to anticipate challenges, and to prepare for success before it even arrives. So in 2026, I challenge you to slow down and pay attention. Stop reacting to every little thing. Stop jumping into every conversation, and stop trying to impress everyone around you. Watch more than you speak. Listen more than you talk, and take notes every day. Learn from others, learn from experiences, and learn from life itself. Because when you master the art of observation and learning, you will gain a perspective that most people never have. You will move through life with intention, wisdom, and clarity. You will make decisions that elevate you, that protect your energy, and that set you apart from the crowd. And ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing more powerful than that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak to you today about something can completely change your life in 2026, investing your energy wisely. Too many people go through life like their energy is unlimited, like their time and focus don't matter. They spend hours worrying about things they can't control, arguing with people who don't matter, and chasing dreams that aren't even theirs. And then they wonder why they feel exhausted, unfulfilled, and stuck. The truth is, energy is your most valuable resource. It is more precious than money, more precious than possessions, more precious than even time. And if you want to make this year count, if you want to grow, succeed, and live your best life, you have to learn how to invest your energy wisely. Now, when I say invest your energy, I'm not talking about just working harder. Anybody can work harder. But working harder without direction, without focus, without strategy is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. The energy disappears, and you are left tired with nothing to show for it. Investing energy wisely means being intentional about where you put your time, focus, and effort. It means asking yourself, does this move me closer to my goals, or am I just reacting? It means choosing to put your energy into people, projects, and activities that actually matter and letting go of everything else that drains you. One of the first ways to invest your energy wisely is by setting boundaries. If you don't control where your energy goes, other people will control it for you. You cannot allow yourself to be pulled into every argument, every gossip session, every distraction. Say no when necessary. Protect your time. Guard your focus. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you in positive ways, and who encourage you to grow. Life is too short to be giving your energy away to negativity, drama, or situations that don't serve your purpose. Investing energy wisely also means focusing on personal growth. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you feed it with the right knowledge, the stronger it becomes. Read books that inspire you. Listen to people who motivate you. Take courses that enhance your skills. Work on yourself every single day. When you invest your energy in building yourself up, you are creating a foundation for success that nobody can take away. And the beautiful part is when you are growing, the energy you put in multiplies. It doesn't just benefit you, it impacts everyone and everything around you. Another key aspect is knowing where not to invest your energy. There are people in this world who thrive on sucking the life out of you. There are situations that drain you for no good reason. There are distractions that take your attention away from your goals. Do not spend your energy on trying to prove yourself to people who don't appreciate you, on winning arguments that don't matter, or on chasing dreams that aren't yours. Every minute and every ounce of energy spent on these things is a minute and ounce lost. Learn to recognize what's worth your energy and what isn't, and act accordingly. Investing energy wisely also means prioritizing your health, mental, physical, and emotional. You cannot pour into others or into your dreams if you are running on empty. Sleep enough, eat well, exercise, and take care of your mind. When your energy is high, your focus is sharp, your decisions are better, and your life feels more balanced. But when your energy is depleted, everything suffers: relationships, work, your mindset, and even your self-confidence. Energy management is self-care, and self-care is a strategic move for a successful life. Time is another form of energy. How you spend your hours is how you spend your life. Stop wasting time scrolling through things that don't serve you, listening to negativity, or engaging in things that pull you off course. Instead, invest your time in activities that bring you closer to your goals, your happiness, and your purpose. Remember, you cannot get time back once it's gone. Your energy is tied to your time. Protect both like they are gold. And finally, investing energy wisely is about focus. Focus is everything. You cannot be successful, fulfilled, or happy when your attention is scattered in 100 directions. Pick what matters most and put your energy there. Put your effort where it counts. Work on yourself. Build your future. Serve your purpose. When you focus, when you commit, and when you invest your energy in the right places, doors open, opportunities appear, and progress happens faster than you ever imagined. So, ladies and gentlemen, in 2026, make a commitment to yourself. Invest your energy wisely. Stop giving it away to things, people, and situations that do not matter. Protect your focus, your time, and your peace. Work on yourself, grow, and surround yourself with positivity. Make every moment, every action, every ounce of effort count toward building the life you deserve. Energy is power, and when you learn to use it wisely, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that can completely change the way you move through life in 2026. Discipline is the key to transformation. Now, I know when most people hear the word discipline, they cringe. They think of strict rules, frustration, denial, and boredom. But discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is the tool that allows you to take control of your life, to rise above distractions, to turn dreams into reality, and to become the person you were always meant to be. And if you want to see real change, real growth, and real success this year, you must embrace it fully. The first thing you need to understand is that discipline is not about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel fired up. Some days you feel tired. And if you rely only on motivation, you will never reach your potential. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. Discipline keeps you moving forward, even on days you don't feel like it. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, not because you feel like it, but because you know it will get you closer to your goals. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the people who succeed, the people who transform their lives, are not always the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the most disciplined. Discipline requires sacrifice. You can't expect to achieve greatness if you are constantly giving in to distractions, instant gratification, or laziness. Every successful person you know has had to make sacrifices along the way. They said no to things that didn't matter so they could say yes to the things that did. They prioritized long-term success over short-term pleasure. They stayed focused when others were partying, complaining, or giving up. And you can do the same thing in 2026. You can choose discipline over distraction, focus over chaos, and action over procrastination. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking discipline is about doing everything perfectly. No, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about building habits that support your goals. Small actions done consistently over time lead to massive results. If you wake up a little earlier to work on your dreams, read a few pages of a book every day, practice your skills, or invest in yourself in small ways consistently, you are building momentum that compounds into transformation. That is the power of discipline. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be consistent. Discipline also teaches you self-control. When you practice discipline, you learn to resist the temptations that pull you off course. You learn to say no to negativity, drama, toxic people, and distractions. You learn to control your impulses and make decisions based on what truly matters, not what feels good in the moment. Self-control is one of the most underrated skills in life. People who can control their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions are unstoppable. because they are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or external influences. They are masters of their own destiny, and that is exactly what discipline gives you. Another critical part of transforming through discipline is accountability. You cannot do this alone. You need to hold yourself accountable, track your progress, and sometimes have someone who can challenge you, encourage you, and remind you of your commitments. Discipline without accountability is weak because it's easy to cheat yourself, to skip steps, and to make excuses. But when you combine discipline with accountability, you create a system that propels you forward no matter what. You are no longer reliant on luck or motivation. You are reliant on your own consistent actions, and that is how real transformation happens. Discipline is also about planning and prioritizing. You cannot transform if you are constantly reacting to life instead of creating it. You have to plan your days, your weeks, and your goals with intention. You have to know what matters most and put your energy, focus, and effort there. Every time you stick to a plan, every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce your discipline. And every time you do that, you are shaping your future, building your character, and moving closer to the life you want. Now, I want you to understand that discipline is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It requires patience, endurance, and resilience. You will face setbacks. You will face distractions. You will face moments when you want to quit. But it is in those moments when you push through, when you remain consistent, when you refuse to give in to excuses, that transformation occurs. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary people. It turns dreams into reality. It turns potential into achievement. And the best part is, once you embrace it, it becomes part of who you are. You stop needing motivation because discipline becomes your lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2026, make a decision to transform through discipline. Commit to showing up every day, even when it's hard. Commit to saying no to what doesn't serve you. Commit to building habits that support your growth, your goals, and your purpose. Protect your time, protect your energy, and protect your focus. Remember, it is discipline, more than talent, more than luck, more than opportunity, that separates those who succeed from those who fail. And when you embrace it fully, when you live it consistently, you will be amazed at the person you become, the life you create, and the legacy you leave behind.